Schultz, Tyler Waldrop, Stealth Art. We're here at Treadwell Coffee, and make sure you tune in to Good Morning, Aurora.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8:02 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We have a great show and interview for you guys today. Our guest today is Norma Peterson, Executive Director of Document the Abuse, here in the studio with us to talk about, Document the Abuse and the fact that it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we'll be sharing information and resources and things. This is your third time on the show.
Third time.
How you feeling?
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty
Good to see you. Good to see you. Your first time in our new location and everything, too.
I'm very excited by the new digs. Looking pretty professional in here.
So we've been sharing the message of the EAA, the Evidentiary Abuse Affidavit, and Document the Abuse. But from yourself as Executive Director, let people know what Document the Abuse is, what it stands for, and its history.
Thank you for giving me that opportunity, because a lot of people may have heard us discuss Document the Abuse. You are so kind as to call us out quite a bit in terms of the work that we're doing. So what it is just what it says, Document the Abuse. And I got into this work kind of like on accident or just due to family circumstances. So how Document the Abuse got started was I am the sister-in-law to missing Bolingbrook mother, Stacy Peterson. She went missing on October 28th, 2007. We are coming up on her 16-year missing anniversary.
Okay.
We still miss her, love her, and want her to come home. But from everything that went on when she went missing and when my brother-in-law, Drew Peterson, was then convicted of the murder of his third wife, Kathleen Savio, what we found during the trial was that there was a lot of different red flags, a lot of different instances that should have triggered responses throughout the system that survivors and victims navigate, that should have stopped the behavior that was going on with my brother-in-law. He was terrorizing Kathleen. He was threatening her. He was doing all kinds of different types of abuses that come along in domestic violence. There's financial abuse, there's physical abuse, mental, emotional, in any way that you can be. And she was being. And she tried desperately to get this information out there. Help me. I am not going to... She even told people, I'm not going to survive this divorce. He's going to make it look like an accident. She dies. it looks like an accident. It's not until Stacy goes missing that all of these facts come to light during the trial. And there was a domestic violence awareness advocate by the name of Susan Murphy Milano. And she had just written a book called Time's Up.
Okay.
How appropriate. Time's Up. And in it was the written version of the evidentiary abuse affidavit. When she saw what had gone on with Drew and Kathleen, we got in contact. She got in contact with me because so much of what she had seen would have been avoided had she had this evidentiary abuse affidavit.
It was part of her book?
That was part of Susan's book.
Okay.
So nobody was aware because she had just written this book. It's out there. It's not being picked up. Law enforcement is not seeing it for the value that it has. You know, but we're talking 15, 16 years ago. 16 years ago.
Right.
You know, we weren't in the same place we are now.
Right.
We're not in the same mental health recognition space either that, you know, back then.
Right.
So Susan gets a hold of me, tells me I have this evidentiary abuse affidavit that if your sister-in-law would have had it, you know, that might not have happened to her.
Right.
So we start working together. Susan passes from cancer 5 years to the day that my sister-in-law went missing. She dies on October 28, 2012. Drew goes into, Drew's in prison. He gets convicted of trying to murder the Will County State's Attorney, Jim Glasgow. So now we know for sure he's not getting out of jail. So now that allows me to take Susan's work forward, pick up the evidentiary abuse affidavit, formalize, document the abuse, and then take this work forward because knowing that had Kathleen had this resource, had she been able to write the 18 police reports that she had in one place, her hospital reports, the statements that she had made, it literally could have been a life or death difference for Stacy.
So you mentioned the system. I think at the beginning of this, you mentioned the system, or kind of assuaging the different systems or what have you. So in that time now, 16 years.
It will be 16 years.
16 years. In this time, what's changed or gotten better and more effective with the system? How's that work been going? I mean, if they're listening to you and the EAA and starting to work it, that's some progress being made. But as far as like the police reports and things like that, is that being handled stronger for any other victim who may be having that kind of issue?
I have seen so many changes in the system in these 15, 16 years.
Okay.
That has given me faith that victims and survivors are being listened to. Now, you're going to get a lot of victims out there that are going, the system is not working for me.
Right.
You know, we still have a long way to go to really get to where we need to be in terms of this recognition and the help that we provide and the resources. But what's giving me faith in the system is working with these different state's attorneys. Like I started out with Jamie Mosser and Ran Hain. God love them too. I call them the dynamic duo. Just because, you know, the work that they do and the way that they approach things is more people-centered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're looking at the person and trying to decide what's going to be best for them. So now what I'm seeing is that same type of mindset going to victims and survivors. What can we do to make this system work better for them? And you're starting to see those changes come about. So in King County, in DuPage County right now, I have just joined the DuPage Family Violence Coordinating Council.
Okay.
And there are 10 of these councils throughout the state of Illinois, which I wasn't even aware of until I joined this.
Yeah.
Now, Kane and Kendall has one. Will County, I believe, has one. So most of the larger counties, they're dispersed throughout the state of Illinois. So DuPage, I did a Dana Being Dana episode about a year ago and met Bob Berlin, the DuPage County State's Attorney.
Right.
They now have, so I was invited onto that council. They now are putting together what is called a QR code initiative that has them putting all of the resources in DuPage County all in one place for a victim survivor to be able to navigate and get all that information so that they don't have to spend time trying to go here, trying to go there. They're providing all of these resources in one place for a victim survivor. And the very cool part about this, and this is just blows my mind how they thought about this, is they have a QR code that is specific to law enforcement, that then if they are on a call for an incident, a DV incident, they can give that victim a card that takes them to a meditation site, so that it looks very innocuous and very innocent if that abuser is in the background or looking at what was provided to that victim during that incident call, and it looks like a meditation site until you get all the way to the bottom.
So that'd be like an incident where the police intervened.
Have to come in.
Right. Okay.
Talk to the two parties involved, whoever they are.
Nobody may be going to jail, but there's an intervention.
Right. So here, just let me leave you some information.
Right.
Meditation might be good for you, in terms of getting yourself back together. Here's a card.
Right.
So now it looks very innocent to that person.
What has happened with, I see, for those watching, you and I are friends. Mm-hmm. So I've seen, obviously, more law enforcement bodies being aware of it and helping to promote it, the EAA letting that be known. But what's been happening on the side of the enforcement part? Like, are more people, for the domestic abuser, are the penalties being strengthened? Are they more apt to go to jail? Are the penalties being strengthened for this too?
The penalties they are trying to strengthen the penalties.
Okay.
Like right now, there's even Karina's bill that's in
Senator, yeah.
Right. So they're trying to get that so that we can protect victims from people who have been convicted of felonies, that there's a gun involved, I believe, so that they can take that gun away when they, if there is an incident with domestic violence.
The boyfriend loophole, right?
Right. And that's something that everybody's been fighting. And there are two cases right now, believe it's Rahimi versus Texas, where something of that instance is going all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Right.
So, I mean, it would be nice to see that law enforcement could enforce something of that nature, and that would help a lot in terms of the incidences, because anytime that there is a gun in the home, there is a 500% chance that someone's going to get killed.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that goes up 500%.
It magnifies any other small thing which could otherwise be something else.
But here's something else that's interesting that I see more law enforcement doing, and this is throughout the whole United States, because I've gone to several conferences where there's law enforcement involved and gotten some feedback from them. And what they're looking at is, we know that abusers, most of the time have grown up in that kind of an environment, which then leads them to perpetrate those same types of behaviors.
True.
So if we can get to those abusers that there is still a chance to change that behavior, they're now looking at those types of programs. So instead of just writing somebody off because they don't know a different way to act, then maybe what we do is we change that behavior, and it isn't that now they just go to prison for the rest of their lives, and they had a horrible upbringing too. So there's maybe some mental health issues that went along with that. So now they're looking at, is there services that we can provide to this person to change that behavior pattern?
Yeah, we're having a great discussion tomorrow night with Kane County State's Attorney Jamie Mosser, and it's about stopping intergenerational violence and abuse. Because, and we'll talk more to the expert about it tomorrow, but there are people who grew up in a domestic situation, or always prone, living in a household of violence. They get married and something happens, and now they have a incident or a case. It's one thing to be a serial abuser, but it's another thing to do hardcore prison time for an argument with your spouse that got out of line. That's not whitewashing it at all, but it is prevention. Prevention is a big thing. Stopping that person seeing like, I'm acting this way because of how I was raised.
And I don't know any different.
And I don't know any different.
If we can, and so many times, there's going to be victims out there that are going to say, you can't help that abuser. And yes, there's going to be a lot of instances where there is no changing that behavior. With my brother-in-law, he's a narcissist. If there are narcissistic values or narcissistic personality involved, you're not going to change that. There's
true.
nothing that's going to change that.
That's true.
So then what we're doing is we're allowing people, by using the EAA, to be able to hopefully escape that situation. But going back to law enforcement, yes, there is a better thing with this no cash bail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in instances of domestic violence where someone who would have had money might have been able to just bail themselves out of jail,
right,
because they have the money to do so. So they may have beaten the hell out of someone, their other half, but because they have the money to get out,
right,
they could have got out. So now in changing that system, we now make it a much better playing field for those who have that kind of incident to say, you know what, the judge might decide, no, you know what, you're harmful to others.
Exactly.
So now, regardless of how much money you have, we're worried that you're going to do something, so we're going to keep you here.
Yeah.
We never had that option before.
Yeah,
this opens it up for domestic violence incidents to be treated in a more appropriate manner than they might have been when there is a higher financial profile involved.
Right. I do want to read about the EAA real quick as well. So, truth is, bringing an end to abuse is not a matter of the victim survivor choosing to leave. It's a matter of the victim being able to safely escape the abuser and law enforcement being able to hold that abuser accountable for the damage they inflicted. Will County recognizes the value of the EAA and supports its use of this resource created, from the Kathleen Savio Drew Peterson case. And then also speaks about the EAA. Take back the power and control over your story. Anything that helps to support, confirm, prove, or otherwise validate what is being said can also be uploaded, along with the ability to give a video statement. Let's face it, we all either know someone, are someone, or can help someone dealing with domestic violence. Yeah, it's one thing to just exist and know that kind of thing is going on, but it's a different thing to hear like the victim stories and impact panels and things like that. I told you about when I did jury duty, and it was a domestic violence case, and like it was, I really wasn't ready for it on a Thursday morning. I really wasn't. They had the slides of the lady and everything. Like it was terrible. But Will County's on board. Will County's on board. So, that's the most recent announcement. Okay. Now, who's next? Who else do you have your eye on when it comes to? So I'm working with. Get them on board.
Actually, it's been phenomenal these past few months in terms of the recognition that we're getting from the judicial system and from law enforcement. So
because you spoke at St. Xavier.
University of St. Francis.
University of St. Francis. That's right. That's right. University of St. Francis.
Yeah,
that's
University
right.
of St. Francis. So
that was this year.
There. Yeah. And then I also, from that, one of the professors, the criminology professors, has left there and gone to Arkansas State, and I'm going to be doing a virtual class with them later on this afternoon, teaching them, the criminal justice students in her class, about the evidentiary abuse affidavit. So this information is literally getting all over. I did a what's called NALI conference a couple years ago, National Association of Women Law Enforcement Executives, and they're all on board. So I'm going to be heading out hopefully to one of their conferences. And, I am so sorry. I told her not to call me. So,
everybody gets one of those on the show. It has happened before. It's all right. It's all right.
So she, she threw me offline here.
You were mentioning the NAULI, National Association of Women in Law Enforcement. Right.
So I talked to them, and there were quite a few out there that were interested in that, and so I'm going to be heading out there. And then also there is a sexual violence law center that is having something in Wednesday. So I'm going to be heading out there. So in all these instances, when I'm dealing with law enforcement, and especially the women law enforcement officers, they're seeing all the value that there is in presenting a resource like this to someone and seeing the value in someone being able to tell their story. So in law enforcement, in the judicial system, I'm also, I'll be at the Kendall County Take Back the Night. So I'm building it all up locally. So you've got, I'm going to be teaching in Lake County.
Okay.
Already done Kane, DuPage. I'm on the Family Violence Coordinating Council. Just did Will County Take Back the Night, and I've got some big things going on with Will County. So haven't been able to announce it yet, but there's some big things going on. And like I said, just met the judge from the presiding judge for the domestic violence court for Cook County, and got a chance to talk to her. So she's very interested in what the EAA can do. So there's the tilt now that I see from 15 years ago to now, is the change in the outlook that the EAA brings.
Yeah.
They weren't seeing the value in it back then, but now times have changed and people are a lot more cognizant of what being able to tell your story brings to someone in terms of validation of what you're going through. Because sometimes in writing all this out, you start to see things for what they are.
Right.
When you're a domestic violence victim, you're so busy living day to day that that's just it. I survived today.
Right.
I got through today. I'm alive today. But when they go back and they list these incidents in their EAA, and let's say we can get them to start filling it out at the third time. Now we know that things escalate.
Right.
So now they get to that fifth time, because it takes an average of 5 to 7 times to leave.
Right. Incidents.
Okay. 5 to 7, and that's kind of on the conservative side.
Right.
So 5 to 7 times, if at that fifth time, at that escalation of violence, they're looking at their stories and going, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I can see where this is headed. This is not what I wanted for myself. Now they can own their stories and they can decide, I'm going to go to the prosecutor, or I'm going to go to a lawyer, or I'm going to go to an advocate, a counselor. I can take my story with me.
Right.
And even if I don't want to keep telling my story because in some small way it re-traumatizes, I can hand that person this EAA and say, here it is. Please don't make me say it again. All of my story is right here.
Right.
Because sometimes that can, in telling your story over and over and over again, the body doesn't know any different.
Yeah, no, people don't want to do that.
It doesn't know any different, so it reacts in the same way, unless you can, regulate your emotions pretty good.
That's one thing I've always found, I guess it's part of the law-abiding process to provide ample time for both to hear their side of the case. But that's one thing that's always kind of seemed a little bit medieval to me. You got the victim up there, and they're telling the whole story in front of a room of people who none of them are family members. It's like you don't want to. It's not. It can't be a good feeling.
No, everything is on the victim.
Yeah.
During the process.
Right. Exactly. The onus is on them. The veracity of the story is on them. So for that little aspect of it to be done in an easier fashion, I support that. I really do. Because I think
it should make it easier to go through the process.
Yeah,
if I don't have to repeat myself 5 times, and I can give someone my EAA, and that way they are more familiar with who I am as a person. So maybe they when they address me, knowing what my background is,
right,
they can treat me a little bit better or differently, knowing that this is my story.
Right.
So now maybe it makes it an easier go for that person.
Everyone deserves a life without violence. The time is 8:24. Jen Ingram says good morning. Saul Olivas says good morning, Curtis and Norma. Well, thank you, Saul Olivas. Good to see you. Daniel Calderon, Heather Rainey, my good friend Kevin May, and Jen Ingram, good morning to you as well. Good morning. Happy Monday, all you guys. So what's next? You have you're doing the teaching today.
Right. So doing a criminology class at Arkansas State virtually.
Okay.
We'll be attending a Sexual Violence Law Center Conference next week.
Okay.
Doing Kendall County Take Back the Night. I will be addressing the Northborough Police and training them here soon, actually.
Okay.
Chief DeLeo, shout out. And so they've invited me in and want to know more about it. So doing it with different law enforcement agencies. We're looking at the success of the QR code hopefully will then play out within the various councils all throughout the state of Illinois. Is what we're looking at. And they're actually getting notice from different out-of-state entities in how they're dealing with this.
Nice.
So there's that. There may be another show done about Stacy in the next few months. So we're looking at maybe being a part of something of that nature.
Okay.
Where we talk about her story again. Just spent some time with a human trafficking expert that came in from Texas. So learned a lot from her.
Mm-hmm.
And she is going to be using the EAA in her work with human trafficking victims, because the beauty of the EAA is that it doesn't necessarily have to be domestic violence. So in any form or fashion that you feel that you are in danger or you're in fear, doesn't matter what the relationship, it could be a personal one, it could be sexual harassment, could be stalking, could be, any number of things, elder abuse.
Right.
I mean, in any way that you fear someone, then you should be able to talk about it. And that's what the EAA does. So regardless of whatever the type of violence is, whether it's financial, physical, emotional, you've got a way to write this down, and it's just for you.
Right.
You own the story now. It's yours. I get to take back what's mine. And that's what we're trying to do, empower people to do that. Take back your stories. Be able to own them so that you can use them as you want, or even if you decide you don't want to and you just want to write it down so that you have it or somebody knows.
Right.
Sometimes even that can provide comfort.
And we have the Illinois Domestic Violence Hotline as well. Let's show that for folks.
Yes.
So the Illinois Domestic Violence Hotline, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, 877-863-6338 is the number. If you or someone you know is suffering from domestic violence, please give them a call. And everything that we're talking about is not just restrictive to Kane County. We're talking about state of Illinois initiatives.
Right.
You just happen to be doing the things that haven't been done yet in Kane.
Right. So now
Will
we're just getting
Kendall.
the recognition out there. But I've been talking to people literally from the West Coast to the East Coast about the evidentiary abuse affidavit. And I did a Dateline NBC a couple years ago that they were kind enough to
I remember that.
put something on there. So, yeah.
Trying to do my Dateline, right? Dateline, can you holler at her, brother?
I see what I could do.
No, in all seriousness, though, as you know, we're fans of your work.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate all the shout outs and things like that, and everybody, all the GAMS fam that spreads the news. Anybody, it's so surprising sometimes how people have heard about Document the Abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people come up and say, I heard someone talking. I have had, this one gets to me, I've had people come up to me at events and say, I heard you speak, and I went back and filled out an EAA. Or I heard you speak, I'm teaching some high school students out in Newark.
Okay.
Nancy Kokos.
Shout out.
Shout out to you, Carol Navarro. So I even teach in high schools.
Right.
So it's a forensics class. It's a AP forensics class. So I go and talk to them. So I'm even getting to the younger minds to get into their heads so that when they go into the professions that they're going to go into, they keep in mind that this EAA is back here.
Right.
That, and what it does is it allows me to tell them the red flags.
Right.
So what a lot of times what I'll do is do, the same thing that you do in driver's ed. You've got a yellow light, a green light, and a red light.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing in relationships. There should be, same thing. Green, okay, everybody's treating each other great. We're being respectful. You do you, I'll do me. We do us together. Then there's yellow lights where now sometimes I have to explain to you where I'm going, who I'm talking to, You know, I'm not allowed to do certain things like that. Those are your yellow lights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got your red lights. If somebody hits you, if somebody causes you harm in some way,
Right.
that's a red light.
They've crossed the line.
We teach these kids in driver's ed, and they're driving a 5,000-pound car because they can hurt someone or they can get hurt. It's the same thing with you.
Right.
You are the same thing as that vehicle. You can be hurt or you can hurt someone else if you don't pay attention to these flags, these green flags, these yellow flags, and these red flags. We have to do a better job teaching our children about these flags.
I agree. Well, we are always happy to help in that teaching by sharing what you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, after today's interview, we'll also have the link to document the abuse as well, and then we will be sure to spread the information so that you guys can take advantage of it. Share it with someone that you may know, whether for yourself or for somebody else. The information is very valuable. The time is 8:31. We'd like to say thank you very much to our guest, Norma Peterson, for coming on the show today. Please be aware of Document the Abuse and also the Illinois Domestic Violence Hotline. That number, once again, is 877-863-6338. Right now, we're going to go to an interesting piece of footage. We recently had Congressman Bill Foster back on the show. He's a great guy.
He is a great guy.
We talked about AI in our last conversation when he was here, but we did it before. We've got some new viewers of the show now. So for the new viewers, check out this short clip of me and Bill Foster discussing AI and what could possibly be from a couple of years ago. Roll that. So you currently serve as chairman of the Financial Services Committee's Task Force on AI, Artificial Intelligence. What current work is taking place on the committee in regards to AI?
Well, AI is being used, very famously by tech firms, just to go and look at all of your tweets and all your Facebook postings and figure out what's inside your head and to send you more of that. And, sometimes that actually, I think, causes a lot of damage, where people that are a little bit extreme are then exposed to even more extreme Facebook feeds.
Yes.
And it starts amplifying the divisions in society. So there are dangers there. But in financial services and in banking, there's a whole class of dangers having to do with perpetuating bias. Because if the way machine learning works, artificial intelligence, is you give it a big sample of something. For example, you can give it a big sample of here are where people live and the sort of houses that they live in. Okay? And then if you say, okay, from an advertising point of view, I have a house that I want to sell. And they say, what kind of person lives in that kind of house? Let's advertise to those people. Then what happens is that the AI, without a racist line of code in its computer program, it will say, oh, you look like someone that lives in East Aurora. We will market this house to you.
Right.
You look like someone that lives in some wealthy area somewhere.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so what you will do is it will perpetuate existing patterns of bias in our society. And trying to figure out how to prevent that is tough, because this can happen completely inadvertently. That you can, it can. It's not like someone says, I want to make a racist algorithm, but it will become racist unless you're really careful. And so you have to insist that these are tested to find out if they've developed racial biases. Mm-hmm. And then you have to insist that they be reprogrammed to lean against those biases so they're neutral. So that people are shown houses that they can afford no matter what they look like.
Right.
Where it's not like they look at a picture of you to figure out all of your ethnic characteristics. What it turns out, there are all these incredible things that the computer programs, the AI, can pick up on to sort of guess what race you are.
Such as music you listen to, the post that you find
funny. Out minorities are less likely to use Macintoshes as Windows machines. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Not obvious, but it turns out the AI figured it out. And so it'll say, okay, if you're logging into our website using a Windows machine, we will steer you toward certain houses, and if you're logging in with a Macintosh, we'll steer you towards, and that doesn't sound racist when you start, but it can rapidly get racist without the programmers even being aware of it.
Well, much more nefarious if the programmers are trying their very best to market or reach out to one demographic and have them.
Yeah, that's right. But I think the biggest danger is unintended consequences. Right. There's a famous old joke in artificial intelligence about you have a super intelligent computer program, and then you say, okay, or Mr. Computer Program, here's your job. I want you to maximize production of paper clips. And so the program sits back and it thinks for a few milliseconds, and then it says, okay, I know what to do now, and it starts killing all people on Earth because they interfere with paperclip production. And so that's an old joke. I think I heard it probably in grad school or maybe as an undergrad many years ago. But it's sort of, if you think of that's sort of what happened with Facebook, where Facebook's artificial intelligence engines were told maximize Facebook's profit. Okay,
right.
And then it thought for a little while and said, oh, therefore we want to maximize user engagement. And the first thing to do is to destroy rational political debate in our country and get everyone angry at each other. So there's a lot of Facebook engagement and a lot of Facebook profits. And though I don't think they intended to do that, but there's no question that that's a big part of some
right.
of the dangers of artificial intelligence.
Now,
YEP really allowed me to kind of branch out into my community. I learned so much, and looking back, I feel like I'm a way more confident person and someone who has a lot more perspective going into college.
YEP is designed to create leadership skills for those youth involved, but also to really engage them in philanthropy.
You can make a difference at your young age, which is really impactful because I didn't know that when I joined this.
Starting young and having people my age doing philanthropy, you instill that idea of community and helping others that sometimes is lost.
When I first came here, it was just another something to put on a resume, and now I'm up there leading the meetings and talking to these kids and trying to make the decisions and telling them, yeah, you might be 16, 17 years old, but we're making a change and so can you.
I definitely saw myself grow as a person, thinking about how my actions can impact other people and the society around me and the environment.
It's made me more confident and more assured in my ability to be a leader.
We're teaching them those leadership skills, the empathy, the concern, and how they are valuable resources in the community and in the world.
We're really creating the future generation of philanthropists.
It means a lot to help other youth in my community.
I think it's the future success of our country.
By giving to the YEP program, it really creates a ripple effect in the community. It empowers high school students to learn and grow and become leaders. It gives back to the community through grant making and service. And it really inspires them to become future philanthropists and continue to do good in their community.
Helping other youth in my community, it's always something I wanted to be able to do, but this is a direct connection, and I think that just makes all the difference. This is all money that we make sure that goes to a child that needs it in some way, shape, or form.
With an endowment for YEP, we would be able to serve more nonprofits, more youth could be involved in the program, and we turn that around and help more youth in the community.
And not only are they helping the people that their money is going to, but they're helping us grow and become better people as well.
The endowment is the vehicle that will help our students today become the leaders of our community tomorrow.
It's really rewarding to be able to, as a youth, help other youth, and it makes me feel proud of myself.
I would say it's thoroughly changed me. I've definitely thought about myself and my place in my community and what I can do to help others.
Philanthropy is not just about the money, it's about whatever you're capable of giving and the fact that you want to do it.
The community and the friends that we make, and that you could give back at such a young age, it's just so powerful and just a great movement.
Special words from our friends of the Community Foundation of the Fox River Valley. The time is 8:40 a.m. It's Monday the 16th. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. This is the second half of our show. First half was a great interview today with Norma Peterson, the executive director of Document the Abuse and a friend of the show. Cynthia Martinez is here. Good morning, Cynthia Martinez. Tracy Duran, good morning to you. Alan De La Pena Pajes, good morning to you as well. Ruby Sue, good morning. Jennifer Ryan Mayton, of course, gets a shout out. Jen Ingram, good morning, neighbors, all that. First, before we get started with the news today, don't forget to check us out on Twitch. We are now live streaming on Twitch. And also, I want you to do two things. Subscribe to us on Twitch and also subscribe to the City of Aurora's Twitch channel. The City of Aurora has a Twitch channel. Please subscribe to that. Subscribe to us. Check us out on Twitch, live streaming now. We're going to be building that platform out. So get ready to see more dopeness coming your way. Also, don't forget, please subscribe to the show on YouTube as well. We need your subscription. Now we're going to dig into the news for you guys. The time is 8:41 a.m. Up on the screen is Love Purse. In addition to it being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, it's also the Love Purse movement's time to shine. The Love Purse movement collects new purses filled with personal care items and notes of encouragement to distribute to women in need and survivors of domestic abuse. Many different locations and offices are up there on the screen for you guys to see. This is brought to us by State Senator Susie Glowiak Hilton in conjunction with other great state reps and senators as well. Many libraries, township locations, and drop-off centers are available going to the 31st of this month. So please check that out and get the drop-off going. All right, moving right along, we have the Senior Services Associates event coming on the 19th of this month. Senior Services Associates is located at 2111 Plum Avenue here, or excuse me, Plum Street in Aurora. Volunteer opportunities, including AmeriCorps health screenings, door prizes with refreshments. This will be the 19th. That's coming up this week, and it'll be from 9 a.m. to noon. It features a number of exhibitors serving seniors in Kane County. All right. Moving right along to this Saturday, the 1980s theme fundraising gala event by the Neighbor Project is going to be taking place at the venue, 21 South Broadway here in Aurora. Doors open at 5 p.m. The event's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. It'll be fantastic. Wear your best 80s gear and dress. Come on out there. Party, good time. DJ Venom is going to be spinning the tunes. It's going to be an excellent time. Tickets and sponsorships are still available. You can go to neighborproject.us. When you go to the website, you'll see the banner with the flyer. Click that and purchase your tickets. Come on out for a really good time. Learn about the Neighbor Project and what they do to solve the puzzle of home ownership here for our neighbors. All right. The next thing, if you are a foodie like I am, that means you like to eat. And one of the cool things about eating is that you can eat, and eat some more. And you can eat fantastic things like chili. Our friends of Java Plus have the chili cook-off taking place Saturday the 21st as well, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, there's still some time for you guys to, prepare your recipes and get the magic in the pot and bring it out for the folks to try. If you want to try the fantastic chilies, that'll be $7 for you to try the chili and vote. Java Plus is located at 1677 Montgomery Road in Aurora. Once again, it's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And come on out. Have a good time. All right. Moving right along to the Marimba Players event, also taking place on the 21st. This 7th annual golf event is a fantastic time to enjoy community and to brush up on your golf skills as well. Sponsorship levels are available still. This is brought to us by our dear friend, Mr. Gil Rios, the 7th annual Marimba Players Polar Bear Golf Outing. So tickets are $125, and that includes fun, meals, and a whole lot more. Going out there, get your golf on. and then you come out for chili later on in the evening. All right. Next up is the Halloween pop-up event, also on the 21st. A lot of things taking place on the 21st, but see, that's how we do with this news. We hit you with everything, so you don't have to say, hey, Curtis, man, I didn't know what was going on. You got to watch Good Morning Aurora, dog. Okay. This will be from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Montgomery, Harmony Hill Plaza, 1335 Douglas Avenue. This is brought to us by CC y sus Amigas. This great pop-up event will feature food and a whole lot of other great things. So please get ready for that. Also on the 21st from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your shop on and then come party with the Neighbor Project. Jen Ingram, Allen, Philippines time now is 21:40. Wow. Good morning. Good morning to you. All right. Moving right along to the 27th. Now, this is going to be a fantastic day as well. Costumes, hot apple cider, coffee, donuts, and resources for the community. The Halloween Fest is taking place on the 27th, which is a Friday, at VNA Healthcare, 400 North Highland Avenue on the west side of Aurora. It'll be from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. Now, part of this is also going to be a decorating of tents. So when you go there, you can take part, see what's happening, get some resources and information, but also vote on who has the most highly decorated and fly tent. We're trying to win that. Hot chocolate will also be on the menu as well. Don't forget, Friday, October 27th. Okay. The 28th, the very next day at Fox Valley Mall, a fantastic Dia de los Muertos event is going to be taking place. Polo Sax doing the music. Juan Diego Rojas, as you can see, great young man in the town doing great things. This is going to be at the Fox Valley Mall, presented by our dear friends Jose Torres and Angie Garcia. These great community events are fantastic and a great way to learn about art, culture, and many different things in Aurora. So come on out there for this event. Once again, it's going to be at the Fox Valley Mall from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Have fun. And Buenos Dias Aurora will be there covering that news as well. All right. Next up, the time is 8:47 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Mireya Banuelos, a great realtor, is here in the chat as well with us. Get to know homes with Mireya by following her on Facebook and Instagram. Saturday, October 28th, my dear friends of St. Astro. I really know them. Squad. They're going to be playing at Two Brothers Roundhouse for the Halloween weekend. House music, disco, soul, and funk. Costume contest with prizes and also a $10 door cover. Music starts at 7:30. Doors open at 7:30 and the music starts at 8:30. There is a QR code at the bottom right-hand side of this flyer for you guys to scan and learn more. Follow St. Astro on Facebook and Instagram. Let them know that you heard about it on Good Morning Aurora. All right. Moving right along to the trunk or treat. This is going to be at Wesley United Methodist Church, 14 North May Street in Aurora. Sunday, October 29th from 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Food, fun, prizes, games, all kinds of great stuff. A very cool event taking place at 14 North May Street. Shout out to Wesley United Methodist Church. All right. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, moving on into November. St. Astro is great. Hello, my friend Mireya Banuelos checking in. What up, Mireya? The Dia de los Muertos event taking place, presented to us by the Illinois House Latino Caucus. This is their fundraiser taking place on November 2nd, which is a Thursday. It's going to be at Moe's Cantina, 155 West Kinsey in River North in Chicago. The link for you to register and take part is on the flyer as well. Tickets and sponsorships are available. Please come on out to that. It's a good time, and Moe's Cantina is a nice place. All right. Man, we got so much news, y'all. I mean, you know what? Alex, look at all the news. I mean, it's real. It's really real, man. That's how we living. That's how we giving it up. All right, Dia de los Muertos event coming up at Naperville Central High School. This is presented to us by Almas, the Alliance of Latinos Motivating Action in the Suburbs. Celebrando Comunidad y Vida, celebrating community and life. This is going to be November 5th from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. And Naperville Central High School is in Naperville, 440 Aurora Avenue. Go on out to that event. Looks like it'll be a really good time. We'll keep sharing this flyer. Shout out to Almas. All right. Woo! Now, I know what y'all thinking, man. Y'all like, you know what? Christmas. This boy, he got the Thanksgiving news. He got Halloween. What else do we got? Christmas. It's a little bit, we're moving kind of early, but Breakfast with Santa. Come on and visit Santa. It's going to be December 2nd at West Aurora High School. This is presented by the West Aurora Culinary Club and Skills USA. Games, crafts, face painting, sweet shop, and photo opportunities. This will be from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. The Grinch is going to be there. McGruff is going to be there, and it's going to be Touch a Truck. Now, on the flyer, if you look at the very bottom left or like the middle, they got a big crane. You see the crane? Now, I don't know how they're going to get a crane in Wabanzi, but in West Aurora, but we'll see what happens. Tickets are on sale. The online ticket sales will close Friday, December 1st at noon. So get your tickets now online using the QR code. Tickets will be available at the door on the day of this event. Admission for breakfast is only $5, but if you want to stay for breakfast and activities, that's $10. That is a fantastic price for a great event. Breakfast with Santa, December 2nd. Come on out for that. All right. Jason Fritz, DJ Spanky D, Maria Chorito, good morning to you guys. And Josue Pais, good morning to all of y'all. Next up is the Latin American Marketplace that's taking place at the Fox Valley Mall as well, December 16th and 17th, presented by the DuPage Hispanic Alliance. Nancy Juarez and the whole team get the shout out today. DuPage Hispanic Alliance is doing many great things in the suburbs to raise awareness and activity with the Latino population and everybody else. So support what they do. The Latin American Marketplace is going to be great. Food, crafts, other artisanal goods from all over the diaspora. The word of the day is diaspora. I don't know I had it in me, did you? Time is 8:51 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. All right, couple more things to talk about before we get out of here. Daniel Calderon is here, my dog. Maria Chorito, good morning to you as well, Maria. All right, a couple more things to talk about, and then we're going to wrap it up for today. I want to give a shout out to our dear friends of the Aurora Area CVB, the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Aurora Area Tourism contributes to record economic growth in Illinois. Now, here's some good news. The Aurora area generated $13 million in local tax revenue and $268 million in visitor spending. That's amazing. In addition, this boost in tourism contributed $13 million to that local tax revenue while directly supporting 3,000 jobs in the tourism and hospitality industry. And that's according to the latest data provided by Tourism Economics, a global tourism research firm, which measures the number of visitors as well as their impact on Illinois' economy during the 2022 calendar year. So if you're looking for facts, I just gave them to you. And also last month, Governor Pritzker announced that Illinois reached its highest ever hotel revenues figure in fiscal year 23, surpassing the pre-pandemic record in fiscal year 19. Illinois welcomed 111 million visitors last year, representing 14 million additional travelers over 2021. In addition, visitor spending surged to $44 billion in 2022. That's $12 billion over calendar year 2021 and 97% of record 2019 levels. Good stuff. All right. Last couple things to talk about. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love, peace, and happiness. You too, my brother. You too. Daniel Calderon. Have a good day, my brother. Okay. Couple more things to go, and then we out. Neighbors helping neighbors. Do not forget that Operation Senior Shovel is starting up again this year. The registration is open now for volunteers. Be a snow angel. And space is limited. 630-256-4636 is the number that you need. That's 630-256-INFO. And if you see this flyer around, you can scan the QR code on it and sign on up. Are you looking for assistance with snow removal during the winter months, or are you hoping to find a way to connect with your neighbors to offer your assistance shoveling? A list of details and eligibility requirements can be found online, aurora-il.org/senior shovel. All right. And then the last thing that we're going to do before we get out of here, before we wrap it up, and I see y'all tomorrow just for the weather. Last thing is the the community health survey taking place, brought to us by Kane Health Counts, Unity for a Healthy Community. So this community survey is very big. It's very important, brought to us by many other great healthcare organizations and hospitals. This is to collect information about how we feel in the community, our quality of life, wait times, all the different things that go into how a community is assessed, how it feels, its strength and its vitality, its pros and its cons, its challenges and what's going right. So we will be sharing this flyer a lot. The community health survey is out. If you see this flyer and you see the QR code in English or Spanish, please fill it out and take that survey. It means a lot. And you'll be helping Good Morning Aurora if you do it as well. All right. Jose Art is here. Good morning to you, Jose Art. Jose Art, I think, is back from doing fantastic shows with body painting and winning many great awards. So shouts out. The time is 8:55 a.m. This has been a great show, you guys. We had a great conversation with our friend Norma Peterson. As you guys know, the show has been going through many different changes, from the format to the content to the style to everything that we're doing. Nothing is the same. We're doing brand new different things. Drop us a line. Let us know what you think. Send us a cool Facebook chat. Hit the DMs or send us an email at goodmorningaurora@gmail.com. Once again, our show is proudly now streaming on Twitch. Go to Twitch. If you have Twitch, make a Twitch account. Subscribe to Good Morning Aurora on Twitch, but also subscribe to the City of Aurora on Twitch as well. Need you to subscribe to both. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Sherry Hardy, good morning to you as well. I hope that you guys have a blessed day, a positive day, an uplifting and fantastic day. It's a whole new week. Let's get started with some positive things. And we will see you back tomorrow for the weather and back on Wednesday with more news, more weather, and the very best of Aurora. Take care of yourself and each other.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.